Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors, Tim and Julie Harris. This is the #1 daily radio show for realtors looking for a no BS, authentic, real-time coaching experience. What's really working in today's market, how to generate more leads, make more money, and have more time for what you love in your life. And now your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
Welcome back. We've got a fun topic for you guys today. It's 12 critical secrets for you to never forget and to always apply to your real estate business.
Yes, so here's the topic. You're busy. You're slammed. You have tons of pendings. Maybe some of you I talked to today have tons of coming soon listings and all the drama that comes with all this. So what is okay to stop doing, at least temporarily, and what must you never drop when you are consumed with business? So this podcast is for all of you, our listeners, our Premier Coaching members, our elite coaching clients who are experiencing serious momentum but wonder how you can keep it up.
And it is worth mentioning that I know there's a lot of headlines on the major news networks that are talking about the falling mortgage demand. Be clear about that. What they're talking about is the number of people that are refinancing. Of course, the number of people refinancing in a rising interest rate environment are falling. Well, that has nothing really to do with the number of people that are doing new purchase applications. So when you're reading headlines, make sure you're not being suckered into believing that you're not going to experience what potentially could be your best year ever in real estate. And if you're new in real estate, get ready, guys, because this year is going to be just as much of a challenge, but also creating probably more opportunities than when you've seen in a long time. Even if you're feeling a little overwhelmed because of inflation or interest rates or whatever else it is that you've allowed to soak into your brain, realize that in a market like this, because of all these perceivable headwinds, that's when oftentimes the greatest opportunity arises. Because if you're willing to take massive action and obviously have a skill set that you're going to be learning through as a Premier Coaching client, you will start to gather market share in your individual markets faster than you can ever imagine. I'm going to say this again, but I think more plainly. It's easier to build your business in a changing market versus a market like, for example, a hot sellers market. It's easier to build your business and to essentially get more transactions, take more listings, make more money, help more people in a market where other agents are fearful. So if you can avoid being fearful, because remember, knowledge equals confidence, ignorance equals fear. If you can be the one with the knowledge, then you're going to know exactly what to do, and you're going to be, excited and motivated to go after the market. Whereas other agents, because they don't know what to do, don't know what to say, are not necessarily going to have that same level of confidence.
That's right. So for example, yes, the mortgage applications for refis have dropped, but what does that mean to some of those homeowners? Well, maybe they thought they were going to refinance, but now they're going to sell instead.
Yep.
And who are they going to list with? Only agents who are proactively lead generating. So do you want to do this or do you want me to do that?
You can read it.
Okay. So before we get to our points, many of you guys are worried about the housing market. We understand that it is changing, and we get it. Inflation, interest rates, available homes for sale, that's your inventory. That all, requires a new approach. So if you want to get your head straight, stop listening, reading, and associating with anything that is negative. That especially includes negative people. And then purge your life from anything related to the media. Set your mindset free. And yes, there is a market shift happening. You guys know that. But yes, you can also thrive. You just need a newly updated business and lead generation plan. And we have it for you. Best part is your coaching session is at no cost to you. So text the word JOIN to 47372 so that we can help you navigate this changing market.
So again, text the word JOIN to 47372. And when you do, you'll be able to choose your day and your time of your free coaching session with one of our new member coaches. Guys, this is a real life coaching call with a real life human. This is not an AI experience or a fill in the blank software program. This is you on the phone with one of our new member coaches. So text the word JOIN, JOIN, to 47372. And yes, you're going to have your real estate treasure map. Yes, you're going to be able to speak with one of our new member coaches. And many of you are going then to decide to take the next logical step and move forward as one of our Premier Coaching clients.
That's right. So we're going to talk about what to temporarily let go of versus what to keep when you are time-starved, overwhelmed, and super busy. Whether that's because you have tons of coming soon. I talked to several agents today that have between 8 and 10 listings that are coming up. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of, picture taking and brochure writing and all that kind of stuff. And some of you are feeling really stressed out and overwhelmed because you have so many pendings. And then there's another category, especially of agents who have been with us that have both going on. So what do you drop that's okay to drop temporarily? And what should you never drop? Well, the first thing, as always, is a mindset check. Are you really that busy, or are you just disorganized?
So this is point number one.
Point number one, sorry.
Yep.
This is a mindset check. Are you really that busy, or are you disorganized? Take a day to get real about what you're actually managing. Sometimes it's just dedicating a day or even 2 days to getting a grip, and that's all you need. Stop telling yourself you are, quote, overwhelmed. Instead, your affirmation is that you are surrounded by opportunity. Isn't that more accurate? And you know, Tim, you and I both know that for some agents, everybody's a little bit different. Some agents are really overwhelmed, especially early on, with just dealing with 3 transactions at the same time. Other agents, you guys don't hit the wall until you're at 10 of some combination of that.
But your first point, Julie, really is the point of this whole podcast,
Yes.
because you're telling them what to focus on and what really, frankly, shouldn't be focused on now or maybe ever. Because it is so difficult, especially in the spring, because you're getting so many emails, so many calls, so many SMSs, so many different people trying to sell you guys something, and maybe you're not sure, do I need this? Do I need that? I don't want to feel like the ball's getting by me, so I might want to buy this, buy that. Well, you know, really at the end of the day, guys, most of these things that are being offered to you really will not do anything to help you build your business, and they're going to create a nice distraction for you so that you don't, frankly, do what you're supposed to be doing. At the end of the day, guys, it comes down to doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. I'm going to give you guys this litmus test. And a litmus test is basically something that's designed to really cut through all the noise, cut through all the static. I was on a coaching call today with 2 great agents, and we were talking about essentially allocation of their time. They want to build a team. They want to, put more spokes in their wheel that are passive lead generators and the rest of it. But I noticed, and now they have deals flowing, and these guys are high-end agents, so they're making lots of money. And I pointed out to them that they have now stopped doing what it was that got them to the point where they have where they're, and now have actually great momentum. They stopped doing those very things. In other words, they stopped doing the passive lead generation. Now they're starting to distract themselves with building a team and building their brand. And really, they don't have enough listings. They don't have enough cash flow, but they don't see it that way. And I had to point out to them that just 90 days ago, the coaching call was essentially focused on scarcity. And now that they have abundance, they're starting to become complacent. And the reality of it is if they stop doing the things that are necessary for them to have the abundance, they're going to be right back where they started with scarcity. Feast and famine. You guys have all experienced that, unfortunately. Well, believe it or not, that is voluntary. You don't have to build your business, or you don't have to live your life that way. So when Julie's giving you these points, especially point number 2, pay very, very close attention.
Great segue. And this is perhaps the most important thing. Point number 2, proactive lead generation cannot stop even when you're busy. Especially when you're busy, you must actively pursue new qualified appointments every single workday. This is the most important action that you take daily, whether you have pendings or not, whether you have active listings or not. Always, on every call, whether it's a home inspector, a lender, a past client, or a pending, ask, who do you know who could use my help buying or selling real estate?
Specifically, who do you know who's thinking about buying or selling real estate that I should be helping in this market?
Yes.
Now, we're gonna drill down on that a little bit more, and this is the assignment I gave to the gentleman this morning. If you're not putting yourself in a position to hear the word no at least 5 times per day from a buyer or a seller, preferably a seller, that particular day you did not actually work. In other words, all the other work theater type things that you did throughout the day were mostly a waste of time, and you know it, because they don't result directly in a paycheck, or oftentimes not even indirectly in the direction of a paycheck. All these work theater type things. And I asked one of them, Anthony, I said, how much time do you actually think you spend per day doing something that's going to result in you helping someone and getting paid? He said maybe 2 hours. And I believe him. I bet he does put in 2 hours per day. Then I asked him what specifically it was that he does for those 2 hours. And he knew. He does great lead follow-up. He pre-qualifies. He sets appointments. He was proactively lead generating. He stopped. He's going to go back to it. So I gave him the challenge. I said, between now and our next call, which is next week at the same time, I want you to put yourself in a position to hear the word no at least 5 times. In other words, between now and our next call, put yourself in a position to hear the word no at least 25 times. Imagine what's going to happen from all the yeses you hear just because you're asking a closing question. It's extraordinary, the amount of momentum and at the speed in which you can build this momentum. If you stop doing the work theater things, if you stop being so fearful of hearing the word no, you will make more money, frankly, than you can possibly imagine. Now, these guys happen to have an average sale price of probably about $3 million. So the amount of money that they can make is really extraordinary, truly.
Yes. So, and this is a secret, guys. This is what Tim just said, the quintessential top producer and up-and-coming top producer arch nemesis. Getting busy, then dropping the ball on virtually everything else, especially your proactive lead generation, because it's easy to use that as an excuse. But it is also the number one reason that agents experience feast or famine. And no, it does not have to be that way. I know that some people tell you that's a way of life, that's just normal in real estate or normal in sales, just get used to it. You do have the control, but you have to be really conscious of this and not hide out in the work that you've already created.
Does this sound familiar, longtime listeners? It's called doing what, if you want ever increasing levels of success in your business and personal life, frankly, live by the lifestyle of doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. You want to say it with me, listeners? Let's say it all together. Do what you don't want to do, which is proactive lead generation, when you don't want to do it, which is pretty much any time, at the highest level. And the highest level would be putting yourself in a position to hear the word no while you're on the call. Not just I'm going to make them into a lead, I'm going to call back, or, it's going to be some sort of maybe we'll get back and I'll send you something, I'll text you next week. No, close for the appointment, pre-qualify, ask for the business. That's the difference between who you are and the person you want to be. And I've got news for all of you. That is what your clients want. You think that they will say, well, you're just a pushy ambulance chaser, but that's not how they're actually going to perceive it. And I'll tell you something funny, actually. Now, Anthony told me he just went to, I probably shouldn't, hell, I'm going to say it. He went to his dermatologist to get some Botox.
Okay.
Okay? And he's LA agent, so that's normal, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so, and he said while he was there, the dermatologist sold him $600 worth of creams and whatnot for his face that he said he didn't even realize he bought until he's checking out, and he didn't even really think he needed.
Of course.
And I thought that was funny because here it is as a professional who Anthony, with that one appointment, I bet you the doctor made like $1,000 for probably what amounted to 10 minutes. And so do you think that doctor stopped at maybe, what was the script to get Anthony to buy the lotions? I'm sure it was all scripted, it was all professional. That's the point. When you go to see a professional, your expectation is you're going to be following a process. You're going to be asked questions. You're going to be spending money. You're going to be doing procedures. You're going to be filling out forms. When consumers talk to an agent, it's not like that at all. It's very unprofessional. It's sloppy. It's not conversations that are designed to actually help solve that person's problem. Anthony's problem was he didn't want to have as many wrinkles. And evidently he needed some skin lotions. I know this is maybe an obtuse example, but you guys get the point. Professionals ask questions. Professionals ask questions that could result in hearing the word no. The doctor could have asked him if he wanted all the skin lotions. Anthony could have said no, but he didn't. Not only did he not remember even being asked the question, which, that's kind of a joke, but he didn't even think to say no because the doctor was a professional and knew how to ask the question. That is called being a salesperson. And the greater point I'm trying to make with all of you guys here is all the greatest, look, how do I say this in a different way? If you want to be great at anything in life, and it does not matter what it is, you could be a pastor or preacher, you could be a CEO, you could be a mom, you could be obviously a doctor. You have to be a great salesperson. You cannot be successful at anything in life, not even a great accountant, if you're not a great salesperson. You have to be a great salesperson if you want to rise to the top of whatever your profession is. That is one of the biggest ahas that a lot of people struggle their entire lives to realize. Maybe someone becomes the best CPA in forever, but they're not the best at it. They're not making the most money. They're not helping the most people. It's because they have not yet learned how to convince other people to use them for their services. It's called being a salesperson. Everybody who's ever been successful at anything knows how to be a great salesperson. Why are you resisting learning how to become a great salesperson? Why are you having issues with how people are going to perceive you when you're actually asking questions that might put you in a position to hear the word no? Do you see how that's holding you back? Now, why do you do it? I know why you do it. You know why you do it, or why you don't do it. It's because you don't know what to say, because you don't know what they're going to say if you were to ask a question, and all that uncertainty makes you feel very insecure. It makes total sense, right? So what you need to learn how to do, just like that doctor had to learn how to do it, is ask questions in a certain order, which will result in the outcome that you're desirous of, right? Doesn't that make sense? And by the way, guys, you can join our coaching program. The first step is for you to request your free coaching call with one of our new member coaches. Text the word JOIN to 47372. Text the word JOIN, J-O-I-N, to 47372. And you can choose your day and time of your free coaching call. Text the word JOIN, J-O-I-N, to 47372. And message and data rates may apply. Point number 3, Julie.
Yes, point number 3 is very practical and tactical. Again, we're talking about what you can drop temporarily while you're super busy and what you cannot. Point number 3, deadlines cannot be ignored or procrastinated. You can lose a deal by losing track of time or having misunderstandings with the other side. Remember that people scan through DocuSign without really realizing what they're signing. You cannot be part of that. Use a transaction coordinator if this is getting out of control, but don't screw up earnest money deposits, contingency releases, or inspection dates just because you're behind or busy. Get clarity and or get help. These things do not improve with ignoring.
We talk about this in Harris Rules. We'll strongly suggest to all of you, whether you're new agents or seasoned veterans, that you always use a transaction coordinator. If you're an agent in eXp Realty, they have a fantastic personalized transaction coordination system in place. It's only $250 a file. You can have your sellers pay it. Or your buyers on that site, and they can close buyer side transactions as well. But we do strongly encourage you to shadow the person doing the transaction coordination so that you can at least be literate when that consumer asks you questions about what the heck is going on. You don't want to not know about the whole process. You want to know it, but at the same time, you should not be doing it because your job is to go out there and really focus on being of service to other people through helping them buy or sell real estate, not getting stuck in work theater and doing transaction coordination.
Yes, and I'll tell you, I am shocked and amazed how many really successful agents who have a lot going on have yet to hire a transaction coordinator. And it's a fun conversation I have with them where my point is this. There are really great transaction coordinators out there who love being transaction coordinators. Do you love being a transaction coordinator? No, or you wouldn't be so far behind.
I'm not
It's
shocked.
shocking for them to realize people, because they can't imagine themselves really liking doing that.
Oh, yeah. I got it. Well, I understand why they're not, though, because they don't realize that they can hire a transaction coordinator per file.
Right, and also that transaction coordinator will actually do a better job
That
job than they will because it is their job. It's not what they're doing in between lead generation, lead follow-up, going on listing appointments, showing buyers.
We talked about this the other day. Even when you do hire a transaction coordinator, you definitely still want to chime in with your client on a regular basis, at least once a week, and so they don't just feel delegated and forgotten about. Number one complaint that consumers have about real estate people after a closing is that they didn't hear from them after the deal was in contract. So make sure you don't become one of those agents. The best time to get referrals is when someone's moving towards the accomplishment of a goal, which is getting the keys to their new house or getting their check from selling their old house. That's the best time to ask for referrals. So if you get a great transaction coordinator that's doing all the heavy lifting for you, all the minutia, you can just chime in knowing that person's having a good experience, and most likely they're going to be more than willing to send you referrals. But you got to make the calls. You got to make sure you hire somebody. Now, if you're at eXp Realty, use the transaction coordination team. It's only $250. We know there's other virtual assistant types that do transaction coordination, but it's typically double that price. And yes, Julie and I are with eXp Realty. Yes, we'd love the opportunity to earn the right to be your eXp Realty sponsor. So if you're a new agent, if you're a grizzled veteran agent, and you're looking to move over to eXp Realty, which all of you either are now thinking about doing or will soon be, please do consider Julie and I as your sponsor. You can text me directly at 512-758-0206. 512-758-0206. Or if you're in the process of joining and you don't have a sponsor, just name Julie Harris from Georgetown, Texas as your sponsor when you're filling out the application. That works too. Either way, we'd be absolutely thrilled to earn the right to be your eXp Realty sponsor. Point number 4, Julie.
Yes, point number 4, keeping your visual accountability and whiteboards updated cannot be ignored or put off. In order to know if you are on track, ahead, or behind, update them daily. Not monthly, daily. Don't ignore your boards just because you feel like you're currently on track or ahead.
That's all right.
Excuse me.
No
Proof
problem.
that it's live. Okay.
Yes, proof, and that we don't edit.
That's right.
So if they don't know what we're talking about, that's part of the real estate treasure map, and you do get a copy of the real estate treasure map when you do request where you have your free coaching call with your new member coach by texting the word JOIN to 47372. Remember, message and data rates may apply. We also talk about the whiteboards and our book, Harris Rules. You can listen to it or read it. Yeah. It's available at Barnes & Noble. It's available everywhere. Sure. It's in the book for sale everywhere.
But here's why that's important when you're really busy and you're doing your transactions, you're going to closings, you're launching new listings. If you don't keep your whiteboards updated, it's easy to believe that you're in momentum forever when in fact your leads are drying up on you, your listings are closing, and your pendings are closing, and now you've got nothing by the time the dust settles.
To Julie's point, what we're trying to break you of the habit of, or stop you from developing this bad habit, is from being busy, putting people in contract, and then busy, closing those transactions. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have probably a really crappy start to the year. You might have a good spring, a really crappy middle of the year. You might have a decent fall and a really crappy end of the year. Does that sound familiar to many of you? It's because you have not yet learned the art and science of focusing on what matters in your business and knowing what to delegate or frankly never do in the first place. Point number 5, Julie.
Yes, point number 5 and 6 are both things that you can temporarily, you remember the song, let it go, okay, when you're super busy. Now, this is let it go mostly. Point number 5, posting on social media. You should post your coming soon listings and your just launched listings, post your client testimonials as well as your wanted postings looking for inventory for your own actual buyers. But if it's not directly connected to those things, you can let your posts go until the dust settles. You do not have to spend endless hours searching for content that is not in support of your actual work. You can get back to that later. If you have to choose between proactively lead generating and following up and doing your appointments versus searching for content to post on social, I think you know what the answer is.
The problem with social media, and I totally and completely get it because Julie and I post a lot on Instagram, frankly, but we're disciplined about it. What we'll do is we'll post typically just one picture in the morning, and the picture or video might be of Julie and I working out. Why do we post those pictures? A whole bunch of reasons why. The biggest reason is because we are being accountable to all the tens of thousands of you that listen every single day that seem to enjoy watching videos of Julie and I being abused by our trainer at the gym. Whatever you guys like, that's fine. We're here for you. And if you're not following us on Instagram, it's Tim and Julie Harris, and we would obviously then consider following you guys back as well. But we just post there. Now, if we are still actively selling real estate, we'd maybe be posting a picture of a tour of a new listing that came for sale. It doesn't have to be physically going through the listing. You can just post a picture, a video maybe. Videos get more listens or more views and consumption than pictures do, of you looking at the new listings on the MLS and then turning your phone maybe to show something that's on your computer screen that you thought might be of a particular interest. This is a great new listing. If you're telling people about that every day, that's going to, obviously remind people of the business that you're in and sprinkle in some of the familial stuff. But at the end of the day, what matters most is you're doing the proactive lead generation. Don't fool yourself into thinking that if you build a mountain of social networking content, that somehow is going to buy you out of ever having to do the proactive lead generation. That's just a straight up 100% untruth. Untruth. How about that?
That's right.
That's a nice way of saying
Otherwise known as lies. Okay.
Point number 6.
Point number 6. You're continuing, some states call it qualifying education requirements. Let it go for now, but only if you have it scheduled and are committed to getting it done on time. If you're already behind and the clock is ticking, you have no choice but to get that done ASAP. Always know what education is due by which dates. I know exactly what the dates are because I've let this go myself. That's why I have this point in here.
Wasn't it late last year you were having to get your ridiculous amount of Texas CE done?
Like 200 hours or something insane.
I remember.
And if I had $1 for every coaching call that was rescheduled because some agent panics and says, oh my God, I can't believe I've only got 2 weeks to get all this done. That's a common thing to let go.
But your point is don't do it now, right? Do the CE when you're going to have normally slower times of the year. Know your markets, know when that is. But typically your slower times of the year are going to come in fourth quarter. And just do your CE
Agreed.
then. And do CE that's going to be, since we're talking about it, do CE that's going to make you better at selling real estate. Julie's a big proponent of you guys taking some kind of appraisal CE program.
Yeah.
That's going to always give you an advantage in the marketplace.
And negotiating contracts,
Exactly.
stuff that's practical, even if it doesn't sound all that exciting or easy to get through. Do things that make you a better, stronger agent, especially appraisal, because everybody struggles with pricing.
Yeah, that's right. So, guys, those are our first 6 points. We've got another 6 points for you tomorrow as well. Remember, we have thousands, and I do mean thousands, of past podcasts you guys can download and listen to anytime. We're on every major podcast listening platform. And please do remember to give us a 5-star review on iTunes. And if you're listening on Spotify, please give us a 5-star review on Spotify. Guys, thank you for continuing to make this the #1 listen to daily podcasts for real estate professionals in at least the United States. We're thrilled to see so many people that are downloading and listening to us in other countries. It's pretty incredible. So for the rest of you who are listening all over the world, thank you as well for your continued patronage. Please give us any suggestions for show ideas, any direction you'd like to have us go, any topics that maybe you think we should be drilling down on. You can message us through Instagram, or you can always text me directly at 512-758-0206, 512-758-0206. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you on the show tomorrow.